Sam Moyne's not going to like to hear this news. Trump's income tax cuts turn out to be larger than forecast. Dan Schneider at Piper Sandler writing in a note to clients, the final bits of data for the filing season are in, and the BBB delivered beyond our expectations. Our analysis of the official government revenue estimate implied $106 billion in retroactive tax cuts for individuals would be dispersed during the filing season. Based on the incoming data, it appears tax relief could be as high as $148 billion, with $48 billion coming from tax refunds and $100 billion in the form of lower taxes owed when filing. Yeah. And there's good news along those same lines in the corporate space as well. Not going to be happy. The restless are a little, or the natives, I should say, are a little restless for our next guest, so hopefully he will calm some nerves. Hey, look, we have to know what is percolating in elite circles, so you got to let people make their case, and you know, in a sort of piece of Marxian jujitsu, give them the rope. Tim Stearns is the president and founder of TJ Stearns in Arlington Heights. Tim, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Dan, thanks for having me. How you doing?
I'll see if I can get you a signed copy of Professor Moyne's book. But I'm doing fine. So so the tax refund season has been a boon, as was telegraphed that it would be. And that means maybe people have a few extra dollars to put into the market or to contribute to the IRA or other productive uses.
Yeah, we are seeing that a lot, and people are very happy about it. And, you know, that's one of the reasons that we're talking to our clients about, you know, be careful going into the market. It is at an all-time high, and it's a little volatile.
And so, just in terms of the nice distribution of risk, depending on where you are in your career.
Absolutely.
What are those consultations like?
I mean, moderation is best. We're having a lot of baby boomers coming in to see us that are just so stock centric. Baby boomers are really good at wanting to join the crowd and FOMO. They don't want to miss out on the stock market, and I get that. But they also need to realize that they're not 40 anymore, and if there is a significant stock pullback, they don't have the runway left to make it up. If there's a significant one that lasts for a while. You know, we got spoiled in 2022 when the market bounced right back, and we got spoiled just now when this Iran war started and the market pulled back 7-8% real quickly, and it came right back to us.
So when just picking up on our last conversation, thinking about intergenerational wealth transfer, not at the point of a gun, but voluntarily, like parents to kids and grandkids and so forth. How do you plan for that, not just from the transferor, but also for the transferees and getting them, working with the family to get them sort of socialized into productive savings, even if it's a little bit when they're starting out and ramping up as they move on in their careers?
Well, anyone, just yesterday I had a client that did a 3-way call with their daughter who's just starting out. And I was explaining to her that taxes are at their all-time low. Since 1982, this is the last time the tax brackets were this low. Get on the Roth train right now. Pay your taxes today. My kids make fun of this saying, but I always say pay on the seed, not the crop. So I'd rather pay my taxes today and let the crop grow of cash so that I never pay taxes again. So my point is anytime I have a client that wants their kid to learn how to do this woman finally has her first job, and as they say, getting off the payroll. I was educating her and her mom about getting on the Roth 401k at her first real job.
And the concerns, like what are the recurring anxieties that you hear from people nearing retirement age, particularly in Illinois, since that's where you're based, and maybe they have an eye towards retiring somewhere else because they don't want to pay the estate tax here at some point,
right?
Or family have to pay the estate tax here, right?
Exactly. So a lot of people are moving out of state to warmer places like Florida. Maybe you've heard of that. And
Yes.
basically, we're educating them up on, state of Illinois. It's $4 million for the estate tax. So, these are things that we are well versed in. We have a CPA on staff who is also well versed on that as well, and making sure that people understand that Illinois isn't exactly friendly when it comes to that.
Yeah. Now the flip side, of course, is that you don't Illinois doesn't tax pension and
Right.
doesn't tax pension income.
Yep.
So in comparison to some states, that may be attractive at least for a time.
Absolutely. That is one good thing, but I could see that changing at some point.
Yes, it's always possible, if not likely. And so the thinking about you mentioned baby boomers are very stock centric.
Yep.
And we didn't get a great inflation number yesterday. I
No.
haven't seen the PPP number today yet, but what are you advising clients when it comes to, as you said, geopolitical events can impact the market, but the distribution of your portfolio? I know balance and moderation, but
Sure.
are you suggesting, you really should look at this particular asset class or that one if you don't have it?
Sure. So the big thing we taught last night a class in Buffalo Grove about retirement and estate planning, and I said to the people, I had about 40 people in the class, if the Strait of Hormuz is keeping you up at night, you have too much in stocks. So you want to make sure that you're putting in things that are uncorrelated to the market. These things would be CDs, cash value life insurance, annuities, things that are going to be it's not just stocks and bonds anymore for someone that age. They need to diversify. Now, if they're really into the stock market, then they need to also diversify into things like, having hedges, having covered calls, having stop losses on that portfolio. If they just have to be in the stock market, that's fine. But then make sure that you have these things that are safeguarding your money so that you don't lose everything if there's a pullback that lasts for a significant amount of time.
And do you find that in these flush times, at least for those that are part of the gerontocracy we were just discussing, that there is a desire to take on more risk? You have to pull people back and say, maybe you shouldn't buy that team of Clydesdales. That's not a real good investment, for example.
Yeah, that would be one of the things I would probably hold them back from. But to your point, yes, they are very bold right now and wanting to just stay in the market. I have a client that owns a lot of NVIDIA, and they just keep on, it's going to keep going up and up and up, and that's a fantastic story. But at some point, all good things come to an end, and that makes me nervous for them. And so sometimes you have to, as an advisor or a certified financial planner like myself, you have to stop them from harming themselves.
Yeah, I mean, do you get people that have all sorts of opportunities for exotic investments, and they want you to run the traps on them?
Always. The latest one has been SpaceX. How do I get into that? And I'm like, it's not really a public thing yet. We'd have to vet that. And, all things with, I know Elon is the smartest man in the world, according to some people, but it's a slippery slope. We need to look at and vet the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I assume you have people that have research. I want, some in the market, some in
Sure.
hard assets. Maybe I want to put some money in my friend's private equity venture, right? I mean, that's the sort of thing that you work with clients to vet, basically.
The PE has slowed down quite a bit, just because a lot of them have reduced what redemptions you can do right now, and that has made people kind of cool off on that. Thank God.
All right, thank God. Tim Stearns. Yeah, well, I know. It was risk, right? I mean, that's the
risk that people shouldn't be doing when they're in their 70s, and they've retired. They shouldn't, not playing. We're not at the blackjack table. How about that?
Tim Stearns is the president and founder of TJ Stearns in Arlington Heights. Tim, thanks as always. Appreciate
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Let Cole Digital turn your outdoor space into the ultimate entertainment setup. With a 75-inch SunBright outdoor TV that can stay out year-round and great sound throughout. Like planter speakers on the patio, high-quality rock speakers that blend right into your landscape, or bronze garden